I remember a woman I worked with early in my advertising career. She was the smartest person in every room that she walked into. She had done the work, she had the answer, she had everything that she needed, and she could not make the room listen. Not because she was wrong, because something about how she occupied that room made people look completely past her. I never forgot her because over the next 20 years, working alongside my advertising career as a coach and a trainer, and for the last 5 years as my full time work, I kept meeting her again and again. Different women, different organizations, different industries, the same gap. Not a talent gap, a presence gap between what she knew and what she was able to project, between the leader she already was and the leader the room could actually see. That gap became my life's work. Infinite Shakti, the program I built for women professionals, is my answer to it. 20 years of understanding what creates that gap, what removes it, and what it looks like when a woman finally stops making herself smaller than she actually is. And that is what I bring to the infinite learning. My co founder, Amitava Mitra, brings something different and equally essential.
I've spent 40 plus years building brands. And the most important thing these 4 decades taught me took the longest to understand clearly. Most brands do not fail because of poor execution. They fail because nobody in the organization truly understands the consumer and her changing needs, lifestyle, and mind. Not the consumer in the research report, the actual human being, her life, her pressures, what she quietly fears, what she genuinely values when nobody is asking her to perform her aspirations for a focus group. I watched brilliant campaigns fail because they were built from the product's perspective, not the consumer's reality. I watched organizations spend enormous marketing budgets communicating what they wanted to say instead of what the consumer actually needed to hear. The brands that built real lasting equity across every category I worked in, across 100 brand launches, and a career that took me to the CEO chair at Percept, all had one thing in common. They started with the consumer's truth, and they never stopped going back to it. That is not just a marketing lesson, it is a leadership lesson. Because the same gap exists inside organizations between what leaders believe about their people, their culture, and their capability, and the reality those people are actually living. Closing that gap in brands, in organizations, in the professionals who lead them is what the infinite learning exists to do. That is what I bring to this organization.
India has extraordinary professionals.
People who have built real careers, delivered real results, and arrived at a point where they are ready to lead at a level that nobody has yet prepared them for.
And the gap is not talent.
It is capability, the strategic thinking, the executive presence, the leadership authority that turns a competent professional into someone who can genuinely drive things forward.
We built the infinite learning to close that gap.
With the rigor, the depth, and the seriousness that India's professionals have always deserved.
Not because we studied organizations.
Because we spent decades inside them,
This is the infinite learning,
developing leaders.
strengthening capability.